When reading Hall's The Work of Representation this week, one thing that struck me was the Inuits' extensive vocabulary pertaining to snow. They have more classifications for different types of snow than I could come up with if I had the entire day. Hall asked whether or not this vocabulary affects the way the Inuits actually experience the snow. At first, I thought it had nothing to do with it. I was under the impression that the reason they had so many terms for snow was because their culture lends itself to that. But when I got to thinking about it, I realized that your comprehension of language that correlates to a certain subject can actually affect the way you experience it. A great example that I'm sure everyone in our age group can grasp is rap music. Hip hop is a genre of music that uses a great amount of slang and metaphors. In fact, a lot of people think the more the better. And being able to understand what the artists are saying directly affects the ability to enjoy the music. This is very evident with one very famous musical artist today, Lil Wayne. He does this in his most recent single entitled 6 Foot 7 Foot. In a great example from that song, and one that was talked about a lot by both critics and fans alike once the song was released, Wayne says this. Without an understanding of hip-hop slang and the English language, this line would sound like gibberish. However, once understood, it turns into a brilliant metaphor. I'm sure you can gather that the letter G is not just an arbitrary letter he picked out because it rhymed. In rap music, a G is an abbreviation for gangster, which in hip-hop is actually a good thing. Without knowing that G was even an abbreviation, however, let alone knowing what it was an abbreviation for, the lyric would already be lost in the listener. But Wayne continues. He wraps up the metaphor by playing on the spelling of the word lasagna. Lasagna is not said the way it is spelled. The word is spelled with a silent G. Without having a good comprehension of spelling in the English language, you wouldn't know that. And thus, this very smartly constructed lyric would make no sense. Through understanding the words associated with colloquial English and hip-hop slang, however, the ability to enjoy an entire genre of music is completely changed. Using hip-hop as a medium brought me to an even larger scale conclusion. And that is, the fact that most people use colloquial speech on a daily basis means that the vernacular we use socially directly affects the way that we experience our